Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is a trigger warning. So in this video, I'm going to talk about depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and all those things that I have dealt with in my life, and talk about some of the resources that I use. One of them costs some money and the other one is free and new to me. So if you've heard of it, let me know in the comments, or let me know some of your own ideas to help deal with depression and just the winter blues in general. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this channel. I do mostly CBD education and information, which you can also find on my blog, and that's in the description. So hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. I have always suffered from anxiety attacks, flashbacks, night terrors, and I don't want to say always, I want to say these started when I was about 17 years old. So without getting into a whole bunch of why, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about post-traumatic stress disorder. If you have it, I'm sorry, it's horrible. It's like, well, I'll just tell you, for instance, what would happen. So I would wake up in the middle of the night, and the one time I remember very vividly, Lillian was very little, and I lived in Vincennes, and I woke up and her dad was like shaking me, and I was on the floor in my kitchen, and I was like bawling, and I was like freaking out, and it was very scary. It was very scary. But I guess I was like sleeping, but in my mind I was back in like the situation, right? So it's kind of like sleepwalking, but then you're like back in the situation that caused you like the trauma. It's like a really messed up thing. And then I would, have anxiety attacks. So I would have, do different things. I hate putting a label on myself. I don't want to do that. But some of the things I would do is I would get up and lock my door, and then I would go back in bed, and I would have to get up and relock it, and then I would unlock it and relock it, and then do that like 20 times, whatever like the number was that I felt like secure. And that really kicked in after I had Lillian. So a lot of it really manifested, the PTSD and the symptoms of it really manifested when I had Lillian. And then it was almost like every child really had its own mental health challenges, whether it's the hormones or, my past, whatever it is with it. But with Jack, I know, not fun, Mel, not fun. So whenever I had Jack, the most awful thing happened that could happen whenever, well, not the most awful thing, but it's, I had a healthy baby. Jack was healthy, praise God. But for some reason, I couldn't be happy. And I was diagnosed with postpartum. So if you know someone that had postpartum depression, or you've heard of it, I always thought, here's what I always thought. I always thought, that's just like BS. Like, that can't really happen. Like, that would never happen to me. Like, when you have a baby, you're happy, and who would be sad, right? So it happens, and it happens to people that would never, perfectly healthy people, no mental health problems, go and have a baby, and then, have postpartum depression. And it's just one of those things. But it was so bad. Hey, Robin, I would just sit there and watch Jack sleep. And I would just look out the window and just cry. And I would cry because I wanted to be happy. And I knew I was supposed to be happy, but for some reason I couldn't be happy. So it was a really, really bad time in my life. And I had a midwife who, oh, thank you. I had a midwife who just was like, breastfeeding is not more important than your mental health. Like, you need to forget about breastfeeding, and we need to get you on this medicine. And, thank God that she had the sense to do that, because I needed it, right? So I got back on some medicine after I had Jack, and had a pretty good, couple years. But then I gained all that weight, and the pain started coming in my back. And if you've had chronic pain, especially chronic pain and then something like the PTSD, and being more prone and susceptible to depression, I got bad. I just got bad. And the more depressed I got, the more I ate. And the more I ate, the more depressed I got. So when I was up to like 248 pounds, I was so depressed. And I've shared this before on my weight loss videos. I was the mom that would pull up to the park and sit there and watch my kids get out and play, because it took everything in me just to leave my house and go to the park. It's been rough. I have been in a place before where I have needed to go to a hospital, and I went to a hospital for help once. And it's just something that happens. And I will tell you guys what, I am in a very good place in my life. I think one of the biggest things about your mental health is just like talking about it and being like, even, telling my husband like, hey, like I am not feeling good. Like I am feeling depressed and, or, anxious, or just being able to tell other people that there is that stigma behind it. But at the end of the day, and I started the video saying this, I'm on social media, I'm visible, and I have people come to me every day and say, you're so inspiring. I don't know how you do all this. And, I feel like I'm drowning and this and that. And I just want to tell you guys, you're not alone, and remind you guys that, I sell clothes. Selling clothes is part of my business, and I make relationships online and share about CBD. But the other side of that is I just want to remember to keep it real and tell you guys that I don't have it all together. I have the same issues. It's the freaking holidays. It's super stressful. I had just like a panic issue the other day where I just could not go to the store because so many people were there. And it just happened, you guys. And it's very important to me that I let you guys know kind of like the steps. What I found, guys, and you can laugh because I kind of laughed whenever someone suggested it to me. But there is this service called Talkspace, and there's different ones online too. And what it is you can meet a therapist like in a video chat, right? Or a counselor, just like I am live right now. Or once you get one, you can do phone calls and you can do text messaging. And it's cheaper than making an appointment, all of that. And it's pretty awesome. So I've used that and have a therapist on there. It works for me because I don't have to find a babysitter. I don't have to, try to schedule a time, and it's cheaper. So this therapist suggested something to me, and I thought it was silly, but I ended up going, and I want to tell you guys about it because I really, really liked it. So one of the things I struggle with, I should have a Kleenex, is my anger. So let's say I wake up in the morning and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I check my phone and there's like a news story or something that upsets me, okay? It is very, very hard for me to have a good day after that. And I know that might sound like super silly to people, but that's my life. That's just, it gives me anxiety, and then it just turns all my other moods bad, I guess. So then I have issues not being pissed at the rest of the day. So anyways, that's me. But my therapist said, I looked it up and there is a meeting called Emotions Anonymous that I want you to check out. I was like, what? Emotions Anonymous? What? No. So I know it's, but okay. So I'm just going to tell you guys what it is. So I went into this meeting. I didn't know what to expect, right? But it's held at the same place they hold Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's based off the same 12-step program. I went around the room and introduced themselves, and then like said whatever they wanted. Like people just said whatever they wanted. And some people were dealing with PTSD from the war. Some people were dealing with high anxieties. There was a lady there dealing with depression just from the holidays and losing her mom. You know, there was a guy there that is like 26 years in Alcoholics Anonymous. So it's like a melting pot of people that just need, you know, extra support. And I never knew about it. So I wanted to come here and tell you guys about it because it was super low key too. Like I didn't talk, I didn't feel pressured to talk, and it was free. So I went there and listened. But listening to other people sit there and talk about these situations that I could relate back to my life really gave me another perspective, okay? And then I also met like a woman there that, you know, her story really resonated with me. So I talked to her after the class. Share, I didn't, you know, do a lot. I just went and listened. And apparently there are these meetings all over. So you can get on and look up an Emotions Anonymous in your town and you can go there. You know, and if you're like me, go in, you know, if you think it's kind of silly or maybe you don't belong there, you know, maybe just go anyways and just sit and listen to what other people say. But definitely don't just sit on it, sit at home. Don't sit and compare, you know, your life, whatever, to my highlights that I post on social media. You know, because if I have a bad day and I have a panic attack and I don't go to Walmart and I order my groceries and stay in my pajamas, I'm not gonna show you guys a picture of that. I'm not gonna go and be like, oh guys, I'm so depressed and I'm scared to go to Walmart. And like, nobody's gonna do that, you guys. So I know, I've seen a couple statuses this last week about depression, and I had a couple messages, you know, about I'm off my medicine and, you know, I was feeling great and then this happened. And that's another thing that is very important that you guys know I talk about the CBD a lot, and I love my CBD. And because of CBD, I've gotten off of a lot of medicines. But one thing I have not said, and I probably never will say, is that I'm medication free. And the reason why is because I struggle with the anxiety and the depression. So it's not smart for me to go med free. Like I will probably always need something, and that's okay. That's okay, you guys. You know, we did all these big things in our lives and everything's been awesome. And I was like, oh, I had a kid and I got through. You know, my mental health is intact, and then we stop nursing and all these things compound. But at the end of the day, I have learned that it's just that, you know, there's always that another day. So you guys probably heard me talk about it before, a new day. So when I wake up, I have this little sign that my friend Danielle got me, and it says a new day, and it has a little bird on it. And she got me that at a really hard time in my life. And I look at that and it just reminds me that every day God's grace and mercy is new. So when I try to bring things from yesterday into today, that kind of reminds me of that. And my biggest thing I just want to say is, again, don't compare my highlights, you know, to your day-to-day, because I'm not going to put a picture on of me having a panic attack, or, you know, I'm not going to share this is a high anxiety day. Like that's not inspiring to anyone. But what is, I feel like, inspiring, what I'm always inspired by, are people being real. And if this in some way like would inspire you to reach out, to talk to somebody, to know that it's okay to feel that way, then that's awesome. So I hope this helps someone, and I hope you guys have an awesome, blessed day. If you need someone to talk to, even if I don't know you that well, just send me a message. Just say, hey, I need someone to talk to. We can text, we can write on the messenger, I can call you. Honestly, just talking, just telling another person helps so much.